Hello my dear Scorpio, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between January 1st and January 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I have put the astrological part of this beginning of the month reading in a single video for its own, like only with the astrological aspects of January 2018. So for those who want to see that, you can go to the playlist FAQ, yeah, okay, and check it out, okay. So I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise, illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. I want to also wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year or Happy Holidays for those of you that celebrate something else. So when I open your deck here, Scorpio, I see the Knight of Swords and Nine of Swords. So it seems like either someone has, you have been in conflict with someone that has been rude to you, and you are being cruelly treated, or that you have done something cruel that you later regret. It might be one of those things, because it seems like it's almost the same energy. First they are galloping here and causing havoc and mayhem, and here they regret the whole thing. When all the swords are said and done, it might be that we have certain regrets. So it might be that you're dealing with a swords person, or that they have been it seems like it has been arguments, or action has happened. People have done and said things that have led to you feeling very, very, very sad, and maybe also worrying a lot. Okay, so I call the Divine with Love and Light, and here we have the Queen of Cups together with the Knight of Swords. And that's probably you, or the feminine part of you. And I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world, very confused feelings. And I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. So you saw it was Queen of Cups and Seven of Cups, and also Ten of Swords and Eight of Wands. So I think it's something has happened. Someone has done or said something that they later regret. It might be you or another person. And now both of you or one of you are living with the consequences of this. It's probably here to make someone in this equation to start to look at their feelings, because they might have been a little bit like bullies before, and they didn't take other people's feelings into consideration. But now, if you have told them off, if you have put down your foot, or you have given them the taste of their own medicine, it might be that they now are waking up to the reality of what has been going on. Okay, so I want a clear view reading here for my dear Scorpio viewers, and I want you, Scorpio, to have love in your lives and to find yourself in loving relationship. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So for my dear Scorpio, the first half of January 2018, a new year. So I will just tune into your reading a few seconds. Okay, so this is your future, and this is your now, and this is the past. So the past is probably second half, it's December, second half of December 2017. And here you have the Eight of Wands. So Eight of Wands is communication. So it might be that the person that had the regrets has started to talk about this. but it might be not so well received first. But with Ace of Cups and Ace of Wands, there's some hope. I think a person that has been hard or acting hard because they had confused emotions or were projecting a lot or acting out a lot. It might be, it's different for different people. Some people, when they have a lot of hurt, like with the Seven of Cups, that's you feel this uncomfortable feeling in your body, like anxiety, but you don't really know why. It's like unexplained misery. And some people, when they have this, they act out, like with the Knight of Swords. And other people, they act inwardly and become, can be also self-destructive. So either a person have been self-destructive or outwardly destructive. But I think one has come to terms with this, or one have started to understand that this was not so good. But it might be like it's a strict mother energy that doesn't really... a little bit like waiting and seeing. It's like sharp feminine energy, but love is still there and new possibilities and everything. It's just that someone needs to wake up to the reality and kind of take responsibility for what you feel and not smudge it over your whole entire environment. So if a person, for example, feel miserable, they don't need to put everyone else in misery. They can say, I feel miserable, I'm hurting. They don't have to, you know, go and wreck someone else's car or spoil your new CD or whatever it is. They don't have to do that, but they can. So it's like someone needs to take responsibility for how they feel inside and start to communicate this in a more responsible way. And here it seems like it has actually happened, or at least the truth has come out in some way here in the past, in December. So this is first half of January 2018, and we have a King of Wands. So King of Wands together with the Eight of Wands is very good energy. It's like you have aligned with your own soul's longing. For some of you, it might be also that a soulmate has started to communicate with you, or that this person that you are in have problem with is your soulmate, because King of Wands is like a spiritual king. He's very close to his soul's longing. So this is what I mean. Or you are very close to your soul's longing and you're starting to realize that you can't be destructive. No one is going to come and save you. Sometimes we act like small children and we complain about everything, and we are destructive both to ourselves and our environment. Because we want our mommy and daddy to come and save us, or we want the universe to come and save us. And I think there's no one here coming and save you. So you need to become your own like king. You need to invite your own soul and start to take responsibility and grow also spiritually. So it's very positive, but it seems like the background might have been a little bit feisty. And here we have a Four of Wands, so it seems very lucky that this this situation can actually solved by all people taking responsibility for the common ground that you have. It's like we are supposed to be a team. We are not supposed to work against one another, that someone builds up and the other one is tearing down, and then the one part builds up and the other one tears down. You're supposed to help each other, not one being a baby and destroying your relationship and the other one being the grown-up. So if you have been the grown-up a lot, you need to let the other person take responsibility so they will grow. But it seems like this has already happened. And if you feel like it's always someone else's responsibility, or you want to be taken care of, it's time to buckle up and become an adult. And no more victim mentality, or like I can't help that I'm this way. It's not working. Okay, so this is the first card for the December thingy. And here we have the Magician. So the Magician is working a little bit on the line between good and evil. So he can be a little bit like a trickster. And what I'm feeling here is that someone might have tried to manipulate a situation with communication, but also that there might have been very clear communication. But be aware that there might have been not entirely like this is usually not a very, it's very selfish energy. But together with the King of Wands, it doesn't have to be so selfish. It can be more creative. So someone really wants to create a new start here maybe, or try to really tell what has been going on so everyone can understand. And here we have a Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles is usually Virgo, but it can be Taurus or Capricorn as well. So it might be a feminine energy, like a masculine or feminine person that has very caretaking abilities. And also being very good with making things grow. Also maybe a good teacher, but stubborn. So she can also make like problems grow if she's in that. I'm saying she because it's obviously a she, but it might be a he as well. Like, and it might be that usually it's this is a rather young, a little bit selfish energy. It's like the human being's first development after the paradisic state, when we had a human mind and we started to be like a scientist in the world and try to figure things out. And this is like the first state, but it's so many other states. It's very left brain. So it's usually not a feminine person or a feminine archetype that has this. But during this year of 2017, we have learned a lot. So it might be that if you have always been the one that on the losing end, that has given and given and given and never being on the receiving end, or never having anyone to help you or take responsibility together with you, it seems like you might have learned how to mirror these people's behavior. And if they tear down the castle that you were building together, you tear it down too. So it's like you're maybe tired also of trying to communicate clearly with someone that doesn't understand really, because they are projecting so much. You might start to show them with action. So it's like a teaching situation, but almost to the brink of revenge. So be careful with that. But sometimes we need to do this. If a person doesn't understand communication because they are so deep into a shadowy projection, and they might be quarrel with like their father that has been dead for 30 years, but still when they are with you, they are arguing with their father, and they putting you in the place of the father. This card, no, sorry, this Seven of Cups is projections. Like you think that you still live in the same nightmare, so you are treating your environment in the same way as it's like you're still there and arguing with the same people, but they are long gone. So I think in this case, the person that sees that the other person has a big shadow and they have tried to talk with them, it might be that they finally need to start to behave a little bit like them. So if a person acts very juvenile and destroy your relationship, the thing that you try to build together, you are building and they are not, it might be that you are also trying to, also showing more that, okay, so if you don't care, I don't care. It's a little bit this what I'm seeing, because it's very stubborn, and in yet stubborn, but also like someone has a plan. And here we have the Hangman. So it's like this I'm almost feeling like an old Western movie where the two people are standing against each other. They have their hand on their gun in the holster, and they are like ready to shoot. So it's this moment where everything, like even the birds are silent. But in your life it's probably like this, that you are trying to show a person that if you don't value me, I don't value you. So it has become like a situation that's a little bit hanged up. It has gone into it's like you rather sacrifice the other person and the relationship than you sacrifice yourself, because this is Hangman. So it's 12, 1 + 2 is 3, so it's very closely connected to the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like someone doesn't want to they no longer want to sacrifice their own dignity. Okay, so it's what I'm feeling. So they say, okay, you want to fight, let's fight. Okay, it's like that. And here we have a Four of Swords. So it's not so much of a fight. So it's more like this stillness, like you're not talking to each other. You're showing each other like ice cold shoulder, and not communicating really well. And it's probably because of this that in the beginning, first one person were doing all the work, and then they just stopped. They say, okay, so if you don't want this, I don't want it either. And here comes death as well. So it's no easy bargains here. It's 12, the Hangman, Four of Swords, and then death. So the Hangman is kind of the pre-state to death. It's when you're really sick and almost on your dying days. But on your scale, like in your life, it's probably like a situation that's very difficult, and it's like something is you're diseased with something. It's something that's not feel really good, but you can't really do anything about it. It's what it is. If you are in a relationship that's not healthy, for example, and you have tried everything, and now you just stop trying, you give in. It's like the acceptance phase almost. Before a person dies, that okay, this is what it is. And here you're actually accepting and saying, okay, so let death come. And when I mean death here, I mean change. Like you are no longer going to put in effort into this relationship. You are no longer going to put an effort into this workplace situation or family situation or whatever it is. It's 4. 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, so this is connected to the Emperor energy. It's like big kingdoms. They are either there or they have fallen, and it can go really quick with the falling here. So I'm sensing that a person has become stubborn, and it's like they decide to go inside and not care so much, because probably they have put in a lot of effort into this before, and now it feels like it's no idea. Just let it burn to the ground. It's Scorpio here as well, so you're very good on transformation. When a situation is not healthy, you can sacrifice it. That makes you a little bit scary for other people, because it makes you it's like you are a little bit better friend with death than most people, with endings. And here we see this, that it's a person have said an ultimatum, and they are not going to move a finger. They are just going to let this situation die. So it's either you, Scorpio, or it's your partner feeling like this. But it's clear communication in some way. Because it's very clear actions, like, okay, it's like someone is just letting go of the ball. There's no cooperation anymore. It's just you let it go. It's like when you have been grocery shopping together with your partner, and you are so mad at each other, and suddenly you just drop the bags what you have been shopping, and you just go away. So it's kind of this situation what I'm seeing. In any situation you are in, it's like someone is giving up. And here is the now. So here we have a 3 of Cups. So 3 of Cups is connected to the Empress energy, the feminine energy, and here it's like this pregnancy. So I think there's still very much a chance for love in this situation. It's just that it needs to be like from both people. I usually said it takes 2 to tango, but now I feel a little bit uncomfortable doing that for reasons. But but it does. You need to be like you need to be 2 people in this situation, and the Trinity here, it's mother, father, child. It's like you, the person, and your relationship. It needs to be taken care of. For some of you with the Magician above your head, it's also like this, that there's a 3-party relationship, but 3s are not really about 3-party relationship. It's about 3s are about abundance. Like, and if someone is greedy, they take a lot of, like, they have a lot of partners if they are greedy, and this is a little bit of a greedy person. So that might be why you have given it up because, well, if they are going to be greedy, at least I'm not going to be in the mix, so you just drop it. But I'm sensing that there's still love here, but the other person needs to start to do the work. They need to also build on this. In other case, it's going to die. And here we have the Queen of Cups, and it comes underneath the Queen of Pentacles. So this is the side of this male or female that has been the very outgiving energy before. And what I'm seeing here, it's like this masculine energy, male or female, that's like this. I'm going out. I don't care if you are happy or not with that. I'm just going. I decide for myself over my own life. So that is a partner that's not a partner. It's someone doing a rebellion against their parents or their mother. So usually it's a male, but it can as easily be a female that's doing this. That's so I feel that this is a very feminine energy, and if you feel like the person isn't loyal to you, maybe you decide you don't want to be loyal to them either. But it can be like a Scorpio, and maybe a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Like there might be 2 water signs and an earth sign in this mix. Okay, and here we have the Knight of Cups. So Knight of Cups is the card for like a person wants to reach out and wants to. They don't want to have this stillness. They don't want to have this. Like the bags are dropped, or you are standing against each other and being ready to pull the guns. You don't want to argue. You don't want to have this problematic thing. You just say, well, can we skip the drama? Can we get back together? Can we stop fighting? So I think it's someone coming here and saying that they're sorry, and it might be this feminine energy that's doing this, and because they want this love thingy here. So someone that's very outgiving with their love, and very like they value love highly, so they want to have this. Either the other person has been acting foolishly or not. So it's someone that doesn't give up on this, even though it seemed like they gave up here. So it might be that there's a Taurus person or earth person having given up on the relationship, but the water person is still in the mix. So this might be what I'm seeing. And here we have a 5 of Swords, and it comes underneath the 4 of Swords. So it's not it doesn't seem like the either the person that has given up or this Scorpio person is going to accept this. So it might be that they love this person more, and when this person comes, they don't care. So this is one scenario. The other scenario is that you as a Scorpio wants to reach out to the person that stopped caring, and it doesn't look very good. 5 of Swords. But here you have a 6 of Pentacles. So 6 of Pentacles is very good, because it's saying that this relationship will be more balanced. But why the 5 of Swords is here? Okay, so it might be like this, that this feminine energy still fights for the love, but are not going to buckle down, and still they want to win, and what they want to win is to have an equal relationship. Okay, so that is the most likely scenario, that a person, they still you still love them, or they still love you, but they are going to fight until it's equal. That is what I'm seeing. Okay, so there's not going to be so it's like one person is becoming very grown up. They're not letting go of the relationship, but they're not letting go of this this thought that it should be an equal relationship either. They don't want to be codependent to someone acting foolishly. So it's actually like a person growing up, male or female, it doesn't matter. One person in the mix here is going to require that it's going to be a balanced relationship where both are building and not, you know, one tearing down and the other building. So it needs to be very equal. Both needs to, and imagine if people were acting like this, everyone was taking responsibility when they have been growing up. Of course, children needs to, there needs to be lopsided relationship also with elderly parents and things like this. It can't be equal anymore. But when we are in the midst of life, we should take equal responsibility, not one playing the parent and not one playing the child. So I think this is what's going on here. Someone is demanding that both are grown up, both are doing the work, both are also doing the work with their own emotions. We have Hangman and Knight of Cups here. So Hangman is representing the watery planets, Uranus and Neptune, and Knight of Cups is Pisces. Pisces is also connected with Neptune. So it's like deep water diving, but this person is coming up from the deep water diving and have found out that something is really important. I want to work together with you with this. I want to, you are valuable to me. So probably that is the only thing that this side wants to hear, that okay, you want to work together with me and not against me, because probably they're tired of being worked against. Okay, so, and here is the future, and we have the moon. So the moon is Cancer, Pisces, usually not Scorpio. We have death, that's more Scorpio, but of course this is fear and this is death, so they are walking in the valley of death is rather scary. So I think they are kind of up in the same alley. So it's someone here that's very afraid of being betrayed or let down in some way. They don't want to. They can go to fire and water together with you if you're just loyal, or you can go through this with them if they just are loyal, but you don't believe that they are loyal. You don't think that they are, they don't want to give this love only to you, that there might be other people in the mix. So we'll see where it goes with that. Yes, okay. Usually I want to say that you need to deal with your pain and such, and that's always the case. If you have pain because you feel like you can't trust the person, feel the pain. Don't let it stick. Don't let it become an issue. So feel it. Don't be afraid of your feelings, because they just want to warn you, and then you need to take the warning signal. You can't stuff it halfway, because then you will have a blockage. But I think that there's more to this. Here we have the Temperance card, and it comes between those two. So it might be that you are two people having almost the same experience here. Both are feeling like the other one isn't doing the work, and that is making both of you probably rather fearful. But it might also be, if this is a love triangle, it might be that if you are the victim of a love triangle, probably the person that your partner is also with are doing the same work as you do right now. So they are not going to have any success there either. Is what I'm seeing, that it's not going to be any better for them. They are going to have, that person is going to give them the same hell that you do, probably, with the Alchemist card. I didn't see this here. Here it seems like one person is giving up and the other one don't, but here it seems like both, if this is a third-party relationship, the ones that being fooled here are going to kind of get this a little bit the same time. This is also a scientist, but it's more a spiritual scientist. They have gotten like 14 steps ahead of the magician. So here it's the person, not just like my way or the highway. I want to create something that's good for me. Here they want to create something that's good for everyone, and they're becoming very, very grown up. It's a good card about taking in your shadow as well. And it might be that if you do something that you feel is very scary, and you start to approach those scary areas, also staying with the pain, you will grow tremendously. This is what I'm seeing. If you start to, before you have feared maybe losing a certain person, but then you just stop, and you don't fear losing them anymore. You just wants to take very good care of yourself. Then this is happening. This process is happening, and you are not a victim anymore. You are not a codependent person anymore to someone that's acting abusive. You're starting to grow and take responsibility, because also the person that is the one taking all the responsibility in the relationship, can be very, very young in their ways, because they are trying to make a parent love them, kind of. They see the love partner as their parent and trying to, please love me, please love me, please love me. And here it seems like there's no more please love me. It's more like now I understand myself, and they're just growing tremendously. So it's very good here. This is a very good energy, but it requires you going through your pain and facing whatever danger you feel is out there. Whatever you fear losing, you stop fearing it, and you just, whatever happens, you let go of control, and you just take care of yourself during this. And here you see the Chariot. So the Chariot is kind of, it's the wheel, so things will happen really quickly here. But from a divine perspective, it's like two people needs to work together to get this show on the road. So it's Sagittarius energy, and here's Cancer energy. You have a lot of Cancer here. Cancer, 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 kind of. So Cancer is a very homey energy. And here Sagittarius is very outgoing. And here you also have Sagittarius. So it's Cancer, Sagittarius, Cancer, Sagittarius. So it's showing this with one side being very homey and wants the love close and wants to, you know, cuddle all the time. And one person wants out, have adventure, do a lot of things, fill the life with full of adventure. They don't need so much security. But here, these two sides of you and these two sides of a partnership is starting to come together. So both people needs adventure and, you know, things outside the relationship, and both people also need the comfortable feeling and the safety of this foundation in the relationship. So both Temperance card and Chariot is actually about mixing two energies together, and therefore growing and expanding. And it's 14-7, so this is half of 14, so this is halfway. So I think one person is more here, this feminine is more used to taking responsibility, so it might go a little bit quicker here, while this masculine energy is more have been more my way or the highway. So they are still a little bit like that, but at least their heart has been awakened. Okay, and here we have the Six of Cups. So instead of the quarreling and the bitchiness and all the war strategies back and forth, there's now starting to become like a reconciliation. And it goes here with the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. So it might be that masculine people also heal the relationship with their mother. Sometimes we have had this in our culture for quite some time, that the mother is over-functioning and the father doesn't function really at all, and not in the household anyway, or together with the children. So a male person can feel like a female is a super entity. It's like they can do everything because they have seen this with their mother, that she was able to be to take care of the children, to fix food, to work, to solve conflicts, to make clothes, to whatever she has been doing. And the father was coming home from work and were not really there. It's like a little bit an outsider. Therefore, the male, he needs like a good role model to identify with, and he has none. And the mother, he needs to do rebellion against her because to become a grown-up person. But when he does rebellion against her, he becomes this masculine person that's like the outsider and doesn't take responsibility for the relationship. Here I think this person starts to love themselves better and decide that I'm as good as my mother. Okay, so I'm as good as my mother. It's like a generation shift, because the males that's coming now, they will get this healing energy that's coming, and therefore start loving themselves no matter what, and grow into like full-grown males that's being able to take responsibility. They have shied away for a number of reasons. Partly, one, they were sent off to war, so they couldn't feel like if they were, this is card of nostalgia, if they were, there's written it's written documents from wars during the 1800s where people died from nostalgia. Actually, nostalgia was a disease from the beginning, from males being long way from home and missing their home village so much that they died, and they could see it in the autopsy in the heart that they have died from nostalgia. And so the male had to kind of rip away their heart from their body to be able to go to war and survive. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that the male has been the sole provider for the family, and a lot of families have been dying to famine and war and maybe people coming and doing stuff, killing them, or authority coming and taking your family or whatever. And that is on you. If you were a masculine person, it was on you. You were supposed to feed your family and see to that they were safe and that they were healthy and all those things. So you failed. So this little entity here in the middle, like your masculine side, feminine people have this in their, this is ancestral karma. They have this in their genes too. So this little entity needs to heal from a lot of trauma that has made them guilty in a sense and made them separate from the people that they love the most. So it's like a big chunk of karma that's between you and your partner. Either you have same-sex relationship or different sex relationship. Heterosexual relationship. It doesn't matter. One person will take the role as the masculine and one as the feminine, because we need a balance. So one person will carry more of that trauma than the other person. So for them it will be a little bit harder to do this work, but because they need to get back something that they lost, and it was their heart. The feminine really just needs to start to take better care of themselves, and that's not particularly hard. So, and here we have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. Death, Six of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. So this is someone that's restoring their dignity. So I think it's this with the wars, like all the memories of wars and famine and everything. It's like, I'm good anyway. I'm restoring my dignity. It's nothing wrong with me. It's just my traumas. So it's just a masculine trauma. So it's starting to understand that there's nothing wrong with me. Okay, I'm not inferior. I'm not worse than my mother. So for some of you also have had like really difficult mothers. Many mothers they have a lot of power, so they can do difficult, awful things when they have power over children. But it's still this universal picture of the mother. So if she was evil, that's even worse, because that's even more than that you have to grow up from and heal from. So we have two sevens here. Sevens are challenges, and this is the challenge to kind of resurrect your self-worth. So that goes for both males and females here. We have the more feminine row here and the more masculine row here. It's like the masculine is going to start to take a more take equal fair share of responsibility and become more like the Jesus Buddha energy. We have seen the dark side of the masculinity, like the perpetrator for 2,000 years, but we know that there's another side, and unfortunately this beautiful side of the masculinity has been in the shadow for a long time. So many males that now start to take in this energy, they have also the culture against them. You're not supposed to be a girl, you're not supposed to have a heart, you're not supposed to a lot of things. But here it seems like someone is starting to fight for what's really worth something, but it's going to be difficult because they have this old memory from past lifetime to overcome. For the feminine here, it seems like a little bit easier, because maybe it's easier to be the victim than to be the one responsibility for the havoc, because it's mostly men that has gone to war. It's mostly males that's like homicides or beatings or whatever. It's also mostly men that's the victim of this violence, but females are victim to the violence without being violent themselves specifically much. So I think it's easier here for the feminine energy. It seems to be like more of a like like a slippery slope. It's just natural, while for the male here it's like, I feel it's a little bit more heavy, and it's a little bit more, the self-acceptance will be harder, but it seems to work out fine. But when it comes to the love relationship between people here, I think it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be a lot of forgiveness, but this person doesn't really want to admit to having done anything wrong, because it kind of messes up with their new won dignity. So be careful with that. Don't make, if you have a partner that has been like not helping and being abusive in different ways, try to not have too big demands on them when they're coming back, because they're coming back like a hurt child. A little bit is what I'm feeling with the sixes here. It's also connected to the Lover's card, those. So they're going to try to do their best. You can always communicate with this person and say, like, well, maybe you can try this instead. Maybe if you don't tell me in that harsh way, but you tell me in this way instead, maybe you can help a little bit. If you are dealing with a person that's like very wobbly, I feeling, trying to both get together with you, but also try to keep their dignity. It feels very fragile. It feels very precarious. But it's promising like some kind of stability with this relationship. But sevens are challenges, so it's not going to be easy for this side that's kind of needs to change. It's not like easy to be admitting that I was wrong. That's a song, I think. I was wrong. I will try to remember. Soulmates. So you're together with someone that is broken, and you have been broken too, but you're still soulmates. You're still you were still meant to be together for a reason. So it's a very it's like one person has the key to the other person's heart, and I think it needs to come through the words "I'm sorry." How hard it might be for this the person's dignity, it still needs to be a full responsibility, like a person taking responsibility and saying that they're sorry. No halfies want to do. But remember, the person that's waiting for an apology here, that it's not going to be easy. It's easy for you because it's like you have already done the work, but for the other person it's going to be like all the hell that you have been going through to learn this where you are now. They are going to have to learn this in a very quick time and having the same amount of hellish energy. So essential meaning: harmonious partnership, love, friendship, companionship, a relationship fostering personal growth. So that's the put a little spotlight on that the relationship is fostering personal growth. So if you want to be with me, you need to change. You need to start to do the work. You need to build together with me. You are meant to evolve and transform with the companionship of others. Certain people enter into your life in order to take you to the next level of healing, consciousness, and authenticity. It is always reciprocal experience, although the result for each of you will vary. You know these people by the strong pull drawing you towards them, and sometimes by strong aversion to them initially too. Soulmates can be friends for life or remain in your life for only a short time. No matter what, you will be changed in ways you can't possibly fathom now. Pay attention to these people today. They are your greatest gifts. And often the most difficult people have actually taught us the most valuable lessons. So that was the wisdom of the divination oracle cards. And this is the Wild Kuan Yin oracle. I will take a card for you, Scorpio, for that too. So don't be afraid to say you're sorry also. I have already forgotten the other song, so I will have to listen to this reading to remember it. The slave dances into freedom. Yes, the warrior slave. How do authorities get us into war? They do something stupid, like pretend like Vietnam attack America with from a boat, or an American boat, or they let Japanese forces go into Pearl Harbor. And there's a number of ways you can make people into slaves, because people don't really want to go to war, but you can trigger them to go to war by doing different things that will wake their patriotism and love and their sense that they want to protect people. So you can abuse this, the masculine feeling of wanting to protect. You can abuse this. You can use this as an authority for your own means, like being this. And that is really the magician. It's kind of the magician, the hierophant combination. And now the slave is going into freedom, because they are going to take back their heart. And when they have their heart, they won't go out and kill people anymore. So that is actually a very amazing, beautiful thing. Desert harvest. So I will read a little bit for you from the Kuan Yin Oracle as well. Number 21. I will show you the card so you can see all the details at the same time. You have been on a path that no longer serves your highest good. The time has come for you to be free from it. I shall free you from the negative influence of even the most persistent struggle or devastating condition with one simple gesture. Do not be attached to the war you have endured. My beloved wild warrior, it is over by my grace. A new reality of freedom is yours. It is time to dance your way into freedom. So I'm a little bit amazed here how everything is so in sync, because I haven't read this book at all, and I just felt it. So this is really a message from the divine that the war is over. Humanity doesn't need this war anymore. So people needs to heal their heart, and they won't listen to stupid manipulations anymore. So I will take a last oracle card from this. I won't read it, but I will draw a card for you. Vibrational energy, Earth Children. Debbie A. Anderson. It's for children. So the text is yes, it's aimed towards children, so it's not very suitable for a grown audience, but I will still, the cards is amazing. So I will take a card for you, Scorpio. And we have this. It's the same as Aries got, question quest. So I think it's like this for many people. Why am I supposed to be with a person that hurts me? Why? But I think that it's because you have something to learn, what we saw with the soulmate card. And if you have questions, ask like, why is this like this? And you will get answers, maybe through television or to something coming in your mail, like a commercial, or something on YouTube maybe, or something a friend says, and you will get the answer. You have a lot of questions and few answers, so start asking those questions like in prayers, and you will get answered. Okay, my sweet Scorpio, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care and celebrate the holidays with it seems like it could be rather gracious, the celebration, but also a little hurt will come out, possibly from your childhood and such. But try to keep together during this time and show each other how much you love one another. Okay, bye bye.